With granted leave officious I return, but much more wonder that the Son of God in this wild solitude so long should bide, of all things destitute, and well I know, not without hunger. Others of some note, as story tells, have trod this wilderness, the fugitive bondwoman with her son, outcast Nebaioth, yet found here relief by a providing angel. All the race of Israel here had famished, had not God rained from heaven manna, and that prophet bold, native of Thebes, wandering here, was fed twice by a voice inviting him to eat. Of thee those 40 days none hath regard, 40 and more deserted here indeed. To whom thus Jesus, what concludest thou hence? They all had need, I, as thou seest, have none. How hast thou hunger then? Satan replied, tell me, if food were now before thee set, wouldst thou not eat? Thereafter as I like the giver, answered Jesus. Why should that cause thy refusal? Said the subtle fiend. Hast thou not right to all created things? Owe not all creatures by just right to thee duty and service, nor to stay till bid, but tender all their power? Nor mention I meats by the law unclean, or offered first to idols, those young Daniel could refuse, nor proffered by an enemy, though who would scruple that, with want oppressed? Behold, nature ashamed, or better to express, troubled, that thou shouldst hunger, hath purveyed from all the elements her choicest store, to treat thee as beseems, and as her Lord with honor, only deign to sit and eat. He spake no dream, for as his words had end, our Saviour, lifting up his eyes, beheld, in ample space under the broadest shade, a table richly spread in regal mode, with dishes piled and meats of noblest sort and savour, beasts of chase or fowl of game, in pastry built or from the spit or boiled, grisamber steamed, all fish from sea or shore, freshet or purling brook, of shell or fin, an exquisitest name, for which was drained Pontus and Lucrine bay and Afric coast. Alas, how simple, to these cates compared, was that crude apple that diverted Eve, and at a stately sideboard, by the wine that fragrant smell diffused, in order stood tall stripling youths rich clad, of fairer hue than Ganymed or Hylas. Distant more, under the trees, now tripped, now solemn stood, nymphs of Diana's train, and naiads with fruits and flowers from Amalthea's horn, and ladies of the Hesperides, that seemed fairer than feigned of old, or fabled since, of fairy damsels met in forest wide, by knights of Logris, or of Lyonesse, Lancelot, or Peleus, or Pellinore. And all the while harmonious airs were heard of chiming strings or charming pipes, and winds of gentlest gale Arabian odors fanned from their soft wings, and Flora's earliest smells. Such was the splendor, and the tempter now his invitation earnestly renewed. What doubts the Son of God to sit and eat? These are not fruits forbidden, no interdict defends the touching of these viands pure. Their taste no knowledge works, at least of evil, but life preserves, destroys life's enemy, hunger, with sweet restorative delight. All these are spirits of air, and woods and springs, thy gentle ministers, who come to pay thee homage, and acknowledge thee their Lord. What doubtest thou, Son of God? Sit down and eat. To whom thus Jesus temperately replied, Saidst thou not that to all things I had right? And who withholds my power that right to use? Shall I receive by gift what of my own, when and where likes me best, I can command? I can at will, doubt not, as soon as thou command a table in this wilderness, and call swift flights of angels ministrant, arrayed in glory, on my cup to attend. Why shouldst thou, then, obtrude this diligence in vain, where no acceptance it can find? And with my hunger what hast thou to do? Thy pompous delicacies I contemn, and count thy specious gifts no gifts, but guiles. To whom thus answered Satan, male content, That I have also power to give thou seest, if of that power I bring thee voluntary what I might have bestowed on whom I pleased, and rather opportunely in this place chose to impart to thy apparent need, why shouldst thou not accept it? But I see what I can do or offer is suspect. Of these things others quickly will dispose, whose pains have earned the farfet spoil. With that both table and provision vanished quite, with sound of harpies' wings and talons heard. Only the importune tempter still remained, and with these words his temptation pursued.